and Kathy Smith called me.
Kathy Smith.
The Kathy Smith.
When you go into the stores today, still you see 300 videos.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever,
like what is she?
Like, shape now.
Like 70 years old. I mean,
she's a goddess, or was a goddess in her.
This was 1990, and she was, you know, Richard Simmons and Jane Fonda and everybody.
Yeah, well, she was a lot better looking than Richard Simmons.
Oh,
I'll tell you
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. She was fun to work for.
Anyway, so you did that for a while, and then you wound up, I understand, in South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah, I went back to school to be a physical therapist. That was the early 90s, and that was
worked with some Notre Dame players now and again.
Yeah, I managed a health club
in
South Bend, and had a television show on Fox, and you know, some of the football players wanted to.
And now you've written a whole stack of books. You moved here to Louisville like 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And you've written a whole stack of books, including the New Year's Fitness Resolution, Why Wait? And what you're doing is working for people from the inside out.
That was my, that was the first book, because that was my theme. Was about, what I did is I took my personal story. I took what weightlifting and, what bodybuilding, and you got me saying it now. What it taught me, because I'm not the same person that I was years ago. So the inside, it changed me internally, as well as it did externally.
There are a lot of people trying to shift their lives right now. It's the beginning of a new year. And so we're going to take a break here and come back, and I want you to teach them an element or two on how they can work with their own brain to accomplish something, instead of saying, oh, it's January 5th and I didn't exercise, so I'm just quitting.
Yeah, most of this has to do with psychology.
That's it. It's all in the brain.
It's all in the brain.
Twin ears. Right back in a moment with Greg Ryan here on 84 WHAS.
How's that?
That was great. And we're going to go through some. We'll just pick a few of these things to help people. Give them a couple of these things to work with, okay?
Not a problem.
How many books have you done?
I'm on my 10th one. I got two more coming out this year. I'm writing one about my personal story about fitting in, about drugs, and another one called Aging with Grace, about how older people can age more gracefully.
A lot of people need to hear that.
If you'd have told me I'd been writing books, I would have said you've been nuts.
People get a little lazy, though. That's just what it is. They will. They'll say, that's January 5th. I didn't run yesterday. I'm quitting. I'll try that. I'll try later.
Right.
Or I had a cigarette today, so I've got to smoke a whole pack.
Right.
No, you don't. I try to tell them.
Well, what I talked about in the first part of the books, they don't take it serious enough.
So what's the key? What's the key element to help someone try to stick to what they're doing?
Page 23. I just turned to it.
Trade terms, the agreements business owners make with vendors on how and when they pay their bills.
My name is
Scary
Thomas.
catch.
23?
And I am an American Express.
What book do you have?
Tom's a big fan of the trade terms that come with a Plum card.
Easy way outs.
Get a 1.5% discount just for paying their bills.
Easy way outs.
10 days of their
We don't give ourselves too many easy way outs.
Put it back into my business. I can buy equipment.
If I had a lab coat on today,
Or if his business ever needs some extra cash flow, Tom can use a defer pay option.
And that gives me some level of control in this crazy world, and I kind of like that.
But since Tom is such a fan of paying early for the discount, he puts pretty much everything he can on the card and likes the results.
that would probably be one of the biggest ones.
I would say so.
And
We,
and it was a no-brainer.
Is the Plum card right for you?
You know, if I had a lab coat on, you might listen to me more, but I got a trainer dude outfit on.
Other established business owners, then decide for yourself. Terms, conditions, restrictions apply. Visit plumforbusiness.com for details.
We don't set them for the right reasons. We set them because they're trendy and everybody else is doing it.
Gotta do a few those.
They're marking down prices for the new year on their best-selling equipment from top brands like True, Octane, and Life Fitness, and they have zero.
Let's also talk about how we break them, why we break them. Let's talk about why we break them too.
With quality equipment from Schellers Fitness and Cycling. 5 locations in Middletown, Oklahoma, Veterans Parkway, 2 locations in Lexington, and on the web at Schellers.com. Schellers, your fitness pros.
And now word for Qdoba. They've got that new Craft 2 option. That's some good eating at Qdoba. And healthful eating, too. In this new year, we're all trying to figure out what we're going to do to put ourselves together. Right. Well, Qdoba's come up with a Craft 2 option. You can choose 2 of your favorite entrees and enjoy smaller portions of them for only $5.99. That means smaller portions of the Qdoba naked burrito, naked taco salad, quesadilla, 2 tacos, or a bowl of tortilla soup. That's more options, satisfying your taste buds with more flavors. And it's healthier, too. Qdoba's Craft 2 option costs only $5.99. Available at all 9 Louisville area locations, including New Albany. They're on the web at Qdoba.com.
The enemy of boring workdays. 84 WHAS live streaming at WHAS.com.
Spend an evening with some of Louisville's legends like Denny Crum, Pat Day, Reverend Bob Russell, Wesley Career, and Patrick Henry Hughes. It's at the Louisville Palace on January 8th. I'm Terry Miners on the MC for the evening. Full details are at LouisvilleSuccess.com. It's an evening you'll never forget. LouisvilleSuccess.com.
84
There's stuff on line 11 if you could wipe that out. Thanks. Year with 84 WHAS. Terry Miners here, author Greg Ryan, a professional fitness expert in the studio. We've talked about some of your journey, your path. You're in terrific shape. A lot of folks try to start out the new year and think, I'm going to get myself, I'm already in pretty good shape, but I'm going to get myself in better shape. And they make resolutions. And then some people decide, I haven't done anything for a long time, I'm going to make resolutions. And then, Greg, they break them. What happens? What's going on there?
Well, first of all, you go from December 31st to 10 o'clock at night doing nothing. And then 10 o'clock the next morning, you're going, 5 days a week, that's what I'm going to do. Well, first of all, your mind can't grasp the fact that you're going from all or nothing.
It's too much to take on at once.
It's too much to take on at once, so it just shuts down.
So what do you tell people? Give them a couple of tips on how to keep from just totally walking away from it.
Well, you really need to set one goal for the year. That's your big picture goal. And then you work backwards with your incremental goals every 3 months. But the biggest reason people fail in their New Year's resolutions for fitness is they give themselves an easy way out. This is serious stuff.
So what do you mean? They're giving themselves an easy way out?
Well, they don't take it very serious.
My arm hurts.
Yeah, well, New Year's will come around next year.
The dog's sick or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's if I had a lab coat on, talking about the same thing, people would probably listen to me more. Mm-hmm. But I have a little trainer dude outfit on, so
trainer dude outfit doesn't sway them.
It doesn't sway them. So well, it's always next year. Well, and then they have barriers that keep them from going through it too, like comparing themselves to Jane down the street, or fear that they might succeed, or resentment.
I was reading your website earlier today too, and you highly recommend writing down your accomplishments.
Let me tell you a little story. In 1988, I was talked into competing in the Mr. Michigan bodybuilding contest. And I had won the teenage Mr. Michigan, but I couldn't believe that I could win an adult, a mature. And so I wrote down on a piece of paper in my office, I am Mr. Michigan 1988, and I threw it away. 2 days later, I wrote it down again. And I did that for about 2 months, and all of a sudden I went from, well, maybe I could do it, to start, well, maybe I could do it. And I kept writing it down 100 times a day. 100 times a day I'd write Mr. Michigan 1988.
That sounds like Catholic school.
It was. But what happened was that I started believing in what I was doing. And lo and behold, I can't explain it, but I ended up winning that contest.
Didn't give any bigger muscles except in that writing hand.
Yeah, exactly. A little cramping up the forearm and everything. But I really believe there's power in
He couldn't lift weights, but he was #1 in carpal tunnel syndrome. That's what that worked out.
I mean, that's the hardest thing to do, is to do your journaling and stuff. But
it is important because it's reflective in that you look back, like if you're a runner and you just log mileage, and you write maybe it was cold, it was windy, or whatever, but you put something on there, it's a reminder. It's a device to go back and say, wow, look what I did last week.
Right, but why do you not do it?
What do you mean?
Why do you not do it?
Why
do people fail to do it?
Yeah, I know. That was my question. But I have journaled before, and I can tell you that, let's say if you're working toward a marathon, that's hugely important because it shows you some steps up a ladder.
Right, but it helps you if you're 100 pounds overweight, too. Mm-hmm. But it's self-accountability. You can't lie. I mean, it's on paper. But most people don't do it because it's in your face, and nobody really wants to.
All right, your original book was Changing from the Inside Out Through Real Behavior Change, Smarter Eating, and Effective Exercising, but this is your 10th book called Why Wait?
Yeah.
Where do people find these?
You can get them on my website at resolutions.bz or at gregryans.fitness.com, or you can get them at Southeast Christian Bookstore, all of those. And they're for immediate download, too. You can get them digital.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Well, anyway, there's 10 steps there. How many more books do you think you have in you?
I've got probably about another 10 in me.
That's good. There's no sweat on any of these, by the way.
There's sweat equity from the farm. That's all farm boy stuff.
Yeah, all right. Well, next time you come in, I'll have some cherry tomatoes.